Okay, guys, welcome to this very short appendix. Probably one of three appendices that I'm going to add to this, but very quick ones, just several minutes each one, and that's about it, because this is a very long study. This reminds me of when I was in college, and I used to sit under a professor. Okay, not literally, but I used to sit under the teaching of a professor for about 3 hours in Nyack Theological Seminary way back in 2002. Okay, and that was before I took a train home. Sometimes, okay, so I know this was long, but I want to look at the augment because I think that I didn't give a sufficient amount. Okay, I didn't give a sufficient amount of information of that augment. Okay, so let me see if I could do that right now. Okay, now let me just make sure I have the right book. Okay, John 1:19, and let me see. Okay, again it's wait for a second. Thean. Okay, it says over here. Thean udes heoraken popote. We study that. Amanagenes theas. This is according to the most ancient authorities. Haon e satan kolpan tu patras ekenas exegesata. Okay. Exegesata. Now, what's the big deal? Okay, well, I was saying that that epsilon, okay, heading up this whole entire set of Greek words, and that's the key right then in and of itself, okay, is not the augment. What is an augment? Okay, let me get a little bit more deeper into it. An augment shows you, okay, past time. But an augment in this simple completed action form, the aorist tense, okay, is like our ed in English. So we say kicked. Okay, so this is passive. So but this is the opponent word, so it's still active in meaning. So we'll stay with not that somebody was kicked but somebody did the kicking. Excuse me. So the ed in kicked, he kicked the ball, is like the augment, in other words. Okay, the ed is like the Greek augment that is showing a simple completed action, okay, in past time. Okay, that's why participial constructions don't have any augments, but this is not the augment here. Why? It is a preposition. Okay, ek. This form is ex. It's the same thing. Okay, ex and ek are the same. It's the same thing. Okay. From, for example. Okay. So the preposition cannot have the augment anywhere in it. Okay, it cannot have it in the front, and it cannot have it toward the back. Okay. It cannot have it toward the front, and it cannot have it toward the back. It has to begin the upcoming word. And that's what's happening here. Now, this is the thing, though. Okay? Does this Greek word, okay, contain, okay, this is one word, is really two. But let's put it like this. Does this Greek word contain the Greek word ago? Or something like it? I think that it does, and I was saying that I really like this word because it reminds me of ago, and it's kind of funny when I was looking at it. Basically, before the changing of the guard, okay, into an augment, okay, meaning the second word has an augment eta. Well, if it right, and let me show you like this. Okay, well, let me show you like this because this is parsing, and I want you to see the original. So let me go to this app right here. Ago begins with an alpha, I believe. Okay, so let's go there, and I was showing you what that's why I was in Exodus. Okay, so let me see here. Okay, 1 Corinthians. Okay, then this is Romans right there, and then I'm gonna go to chapter 8 and verse 14. One of my favorite verses in the entire Bible because it taught me how to be patient, waiting for the leading of the Holy Spirit as a very young Christian. Okay, so that's why, That's why I love this verse. As many, okay, hasoi, and we saw that actually in the prologue. I think in the prologue anyway, hasoi, for, and that's a postpositive of agar, by the Spirit, and that's pneumati. So nobody can witch and whine and complain that the Holy Spirit, okay, it didn't raise Jesus from the dead ones, because pneumati is over there. So you can use the instrumental. You don't have to say in the Spirit, okay, according to what verse 18 of chapter 3 of 1 Peter. You don't have to say in the Spirit. By the Spirit, use the instrumental. Okay, use of well, there's no N there, but you know what I mean. You can still use the instrumental anyway, even though N is not there. By the Spirit, but that's not what I'm talking about. By the Spirit of God, by the Spirit of God, okay, are led. Okay, so ago is here, agantai, and that's the present indicative middle passive form. You have the tie there, third person tie, my side tie, there you go. That's tie, third person primary passive or personal ending. Or actually, I think that's there might be no. Actually, but this is in the plural though, so I have to change that a little bit. A third person plural says untai. Okay, so it's not tie in the singular, but it's untai. So that's the untai is primary passive personal ending in the plural. Okay, my side tie metas that untie. So it's not tie in the singular third person, but in the plural third person. Okay, change that. So let's look at the lexical form. The lexical form is ago. Ago begins with an alpha. If this is the case, that the word right after the preposition X begins with an alpha, even with epsilon, doesn't make a difference, but if it's kind of food for thought, if it begins with an alpha right before the gamma, if that word begins with an alpha, well, it's lengthened to eta, and that's the augment. Okay, so that's the augment. Okay, so you have epsilon and kasi, which is the preposition. The epsilon is not the augment. Okay, in that because the preposition can't take an augment. So it's up to the second word to contain. Okay, it's up to you to place the to place an augment in front of the upcoming word, right? And since it begins with alpha, in my estimation, okay, because it reminds me of our goal, well, there's augment right there, eta, lengthened alpha. That's all. That's all there. So that's basically the deal. That when you go to, and let me just do this real quickly. Okay, John is right there, and then the first chapter and the 18th verse is right here recorded. Poke the bear. And let's go to the last word, exegesata. And so epsilon and kasi is a preposition. So you separate that from the other word that is connecting, that is connected to. Okay. So so that's separate. So that cannot contain an augment. Prepositions cannot take the augment, whether it be in front of the preposition or in back, because it's Hebrew, in back of the preposition. So you know the epsilon is not an augment, okay? So the upcoming word, okay, and this compound word over here, exegesata, has to take the augment, and since in my estimation it was alpha, okay, then lengthening it to an eta, okay, that's the augment right there, the eta. Okay, or better yet said, because there's an eta there, okay, that's the augment, because alpha and epsilons can lengthen to eta. Okay, and so that's the augment right there. Eta is your augment. The eta right after the kasi is your augment. Okay, and one of the clues of the aorist tense. The other clues, like I said before, okay, you got the sigma and the alpha. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? That's the aorist tense formative. Is that my son out there? I thought that was my son crying outside, but I don't think so. These kids sound the same, you know what I mean? They're around the same age. So let me just say it again. Sorry about I lost my concentration. I thought that was my almost 3-year-old boy crying outside of the door. Sigma and alpha is the aorist tense formative, is the aorist tense morpheme. This is called the first aorist. Okay, so basically that's just the deal. You have ek or x here as the preposition, and then you have ge, gesata. The tau omicron is the secondary third person personal ending ta, like in again a ta. It's the same thing. And then you have the aorist tense morpheme, like I said before, sigma and alpha. That's the first aorist morpheme, and then you have the epsilon lengthening to eta, which is a usual thing that happens, okay, before tense formatives. Okay, so that's just a usual thing, and then you have your stem. Okay, this is really a stem now, ege, and I believe ago is similar to this, or came from this. Okay, construction. It's similar to this construction. Okay, before all these things are lengthened. Okay, meaning the epsilon to eta and then alpha to eta. Nowadays called eta. Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to say about exegesata, which is a very rare word. It's not found a lot in the Greek New Testament. Okay, so if you want to know the exact number, just go to Mouse's Complete Expository Dictionary of Old and New Testament Words, and you're going to see the exact number of how many times in the Greek New Testament is exegesata found. Okay, now if there's another appendix, it's going to come right after this one. If not, well, thank you so much for listening to this entire very long study. I hope it was beneficial for you. Thank you.